Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to learn how to convert decimal number to rational number and a rational number to decimal number. So we'll get started with the first case, decimal to rational number. So when I have 2.5, what I'll do is I'll just remove the decimal point, and then in the denominator, I'll write 1 followed by the number of zeros as there are number of digits after decimal point. Okay, so there's one digit after the decimal point, so I'll be writing 10. All right, so the rational number I have now is 25 by 10, which I can simplify and write as 5 times 5 and then divided by 5 times 2. So I can cancel 5 and 5 since they are common terms, and my final rational number is 5 by 2. So 2.5 has become 5 by 2. Next we'll move on to the next example, 0.45. So here also I'll write 45 and then divided by the number of 1 followed by number of zeros as there are number of digits after decimal. So there's 4 and 5 2 digits, so I have 100. So 45 is 5 times 3 times 3, and 100 is 5 times 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, so I'll cancel 5 and 5 and I'll have 9 by, okay, I missed writing the 2 in the denominator. So 100 is 5 times 5 times 2 times 2. Okay, so denominator is 5 times 2 is 10, 10 times 2 is 20. So my rational number of 0.45 has become 9 by 20. And what happens if I have a negative decimal value? How will I write it as a rational number? So I'll write negative 375, and then since I have two decimal numbers after the decimal point, I'll divide it by 100. I'll again split this into smaller factors, 5 times 5 times 5 times 3. Yeah, so 5 times 5 times 5 times 3, and then in the denominator I'll write it as 5 times 5 times 2 times 2. So I'll cancel the common terms, which is 5 times 5, and yeah, so 5 times 3 is 15 and 2 times 2 is 4, negative 15 by 4. Okay, so next we'll move on to how to convert a rational number to its decimal form. Okay, so here the method is pretty simple. All you need to do is divide the numerator by the denominator. So here we have numerator 1, which I am dividing by 5. Okay, 5 goes 0 times inside 1, right? So I'll just write 0 for the first divisor, and then 5 times 0 is 0, remainder 1. So you can keep a decimal point and then bring down a 0 now. So 5 goes 2 times into 10, so 5 2s are 10. I get 1 by 5 is equal to 0.2. Then moving on to the next part, negative 3 by 2. So negative 3 by 2 also is done the same way. I write the numerator in the dividend and denominator in the divisor. 3 by 2 is 1.5. Okay, so since I have a negative symbol, so I'll write negative 3 by 2 is equal to negative 1.5. Okay, so these are decimal numbers where the decimal point stops after certain digits, right? So decimal value has stopped, but we are going to look at a new set of decimal where the decimal value does not stop. So 1 by 3, so 1 goes inside the numerator, so inside the dividend, and 3 goes as the divisor. Okay, so you'll see that we always use the numerator as the dividend and denominator as a divisor. Numerator as the dividend and denominator as the divisor. Same thing goes here. Numerator goes inside as a dividend and denominator stays outside as a divisor. So 0 0 1, can keep a point and then bring a 0 down. So 3 goes 3 times into 10, which is 9. 3 3s are 9. I get a remainder 1, 10, again goes 3 times. So I see that this will just keep on repeating. I'll always get a reminder 1, I'll be bringing down a 0, and 3 will go 3 times into that. So it just keeps repeating. So I know that 1 by 3 is 0.333333, and it just keeps repeating. So how I'll write is, I'll write as 0.3 bar. I'll write a bar over the number which just keeps repeating. Okay, so we've seen that we can convert a rational number into a decimal number. So we can convert a rational number into a decimal number by just dividing it, and we see that a decimal number can only be a rational number when the decimal number stops after a point, or even if it keeps continuing, it should be a repeating decimal number.